Hey, what is going on? I am so happy to be finally introducing our brand new podcast, Get Close. And I'm even more ecstatic to be sharing this first time with the brother, with the family here, Anthony Lee. Yay!
Thank you, live audience.
It's applause sign. Applause.
All right, so I'm your host, Gio.
And I'm Bart.
And I'm, like I said, I'm so excited to have you here. This is not the first time that you've been on our podcast.
Yeah, tell us about the first time. Like, how is it not the first time? Because I don't know if our fans know that it's not the first time.
It's not. Okay, so it's not the first time, and I feel fucking horrible because I remember, like, there was one point in the podcast where you were, like, very moved. And we were all making, like, deep eye contact, and we were, like, connected. And
All watery-eyed, too?
Yeah, and he was, like, he had his hand on his chest. Remember that? And you were like, I had never shared this story before. And it was, like, such a beautiful once-in-a-lifetime moment. And it never aired.
Yeah.
That episode.
And why didn't it air, guys?
There was a corrupted file,
or
or
like
like
too heartfelt.
Oh yeah, there's
It's
audio.
just too bitch.
Yeah.
I was too much of a
When we
bitch.
pulled out the SD card, it was tears on it, and the whole thing was just broken.
No, really, is that what happened? It was corrupted?
Yeah,
Or did we just not like it?
No, something happened with the audio or the video. Where we're like, what the hell?
I think you guys are telling me something with the audio.
Yeah,
Which, are we even sure that this is going to work this time?
I hope so, dude.
I hope so, man.
Am I the first guest? Because it's like you got to get
Test
through.
dummy.
Like, yeah, that's what we did to Mike. We just like brought back season 2 of Cage's podcast.
Yeah.
And then we had him come on. I told him, I was like, hey, we're just finding stuff. And we did the whole podcast. And I was like, hey, we got to scrap it. We got to try it again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're noobs though. We got to find a flow. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
you guys, hey, super professional. I can't wait for this episode to finally air.
Me too.
Maybe.
I hope everything goes good.
I'm looking at that camera.
Yeah,
This is
I
a
hope-
sarcastic look
I
on the
hope
camera.
everything goes good.
No. Okay. So for everyone who doesn't know, and I'd be surprised if they don't know who the hell Anthony Lee
That means they're a
is.
dumbass.
But not people listening. They already know who it is. But I love bringing on people that I really care about and that I respect and I admire and I look up to. Same with Bart. We only bring on people that we admire. And we want to brag about you, man, because I feel like that's just not how a lot of us were raised, right? Like a lot of us weren't raised to like look at our highlights and then boast about it. So that's what we're going to do for you today. I want to boast about my friend.
I'm getting nervous.
No. And I actually wrote it down, so I'm a little bit professional. All right.
That's very professional.
So
I want to see what Bart did.
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
this is my book, dude.
Okay.
Okay. So if you don't know who Anthony Lee is,
God.
bro, let
Drum
me
roll.
introduce you, dude. Anthony Lee is co-founder, creator, brain child is Kinja's. Kinja's empire. And Kinja's consists of like an apparel line. It consists of like dance studios that were like in the US, out in China. You guys offer online courses. You guys have a ton of students, teachers. Your crew is how big? I think it's like at least 30 people.
46.
Holy
Damn.
shit. That's amazing.
That's a public school classroom.
It is. And that's just like one of the things,
Feels
right?
like it.
Okay, you guys started a noodle company called Kinja Bang Noodles, selling on Amazon. Just recently posted that you guys are going to be selling it in fucking Costco.
They
In
are at
Texas.
40-something stores, right?
41 stores.
That's amazing.
Yep.
There's more. You have choreographed for C-pop stars, for K-pop stars. What other stars?
Any American
Galactic
stars?
stars. No, not American stars, but
Look at
American
you
brands.
trying to be humble. I like that.
Honestly, no actual American celebrities, which is totally okay. However, a lot of American corporations and stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of American, you've been on a ton of American shows like ABDC. You've been on World of Dance. You guys have even had live appearances. I've seen you guys do a dance for the Clippers That's fucking amazing. You guys were at Coachella.
Mainly,
Hello.
Actually, one of our team members is the director for the Clippers Spirit team, and then so brings in lots of choreographers. So that's really cool. But the main basketball stuff we do was actually for the Golden State Warriors at the halftime during Christmas.
Wow.
And you guys were all Santas, I remember.
We were all Santas. That we thought that was really clever and fun.
It was.
It was
No,
good.
your shows are fucking awesome. I love it. You guys always have like this really cool, fun element to it. Like you guys are super fly, and you guys have like this really dope, aggressive style. But then you guys will do like the funniest shit. Like,
Thank you.
I love it. I love it.
That's
I'm
why
not
we're
even
friends.
done. I'm not even done, dude.
Oh, shit.
You guys recently developed the first Nike dance shoe. Like, what? Like, that's fucking amazing. Okay, still not done. You personally got engaged this year as well. That is yeah,
Self
dude.
props.
Yep.
Self props.
Yeah, that's
props
not-
to Nina. She's studying downstairs.
Yes.
Life milestones, dude. Those are
Yeah,
important too.
no. I mean, and like, I don't know, man. I feel like I could keep going on and on and on.
Don't
just
forget
like,
the biggest of all time.
Oh,
host of JK,
JK.
News. That's crazy,
Hey, honestly, that
dude.
was. We can talk about that. That's a come up, baby.
No. But no, dude, like I was telling you like before we came in here, I'm like, dude, I was writing down like just the accomplishments that I can recall off the top of my head. And I'm like, holy shit, like you've lived a fucking awesome life. Like
Thank you.
you have achieved so much that a lot of people can't even wrap their brains around. Like you guys have like the studios, you guys had the apparel, you guys have the noodles, you guys have just the crew, and like just within the crew itself to have so many people and have them all be just fucking die hard about it. Like it's not easy. It's not easy like injecting that type of soul into so many different people that came in from so many different walks of life, you know? So that is a huge accomplishment, man.
I sit here and thank you so much for going down the highlights. That was fun. That was cool.
I'm sure I missed a ton of shit too.
I just feel such a poetic irony right now because which we talked about on the first podcast that never went out.
Yeah.
So we have to just talk about some of those things again.
Yes.
But like to have accomplished all that, and I haven't gotten a chance to let that settle. I'll be honest with that. Some of the crazy stuff that has just gone down, I'm still my head's in the clouds on it. I have no idea how to process it. I'm literally, my feet are not on the fucking floor. I've been jumping out the window almost every weekend, finding out the next piece of news that even here being excited to share even new stuff is like really, really cool. But thinking about where it came from, also why I'm here sitting with you guys talking about where it came from, that's where I see the poetry. I will never fucking forget to me, still to this day, one of the most important conversations that I had was in a spot that we called Bangoria. It was a living situation. I was living with Mike Song, Jason Bueno, our homie Rob, who's a chef. We were living in this Monterey Park house on Wandering Drive, which was like 2-minute drive from Kinja's Dojo. And I moved into that spot as a shabu shabu server. I think that's what it was. I think I was serving shabu shabu, trying to keep the dance streams alive. And so I had a one-on-one conversation with Gio, and I genuinely was like, all right, I need to start asking people for advice, right? And part of that dance journey wasn't just about trying to become a dancer or choreographer or anything like that. It was trying to figure out how to express it, how to use social platforms, how to almost like foundational tools and tricks of the trades on not just how to become an influencer, but to do it as a boss, to find like the lane to be more of an entrepreneur as well, because that's some of the examples I was getting from y'all. Not just seeing you guys and being like, oh, they make film videos that are funny. Like that might have been like the way to easily describe JK Films at the time. But I saw you guys building exactly what you're talking about, what we try to do with like an empire, having merchandise, having different channels, having different pods of organizations that represent different things, whether they be the party sector, the news sector, the skits, working on a movie, building up a fucking... This is now my podcast, by the way. You guys are my guests.
What the fuck? How did you fucking flip this shit?
Okay, building a gym, all that stuff. Like it was easy for me to get positive influence. So I remember sitting in my house and humbly asking you, Gio, and Danielle was there too. Like how I could do it. I think the conversation and the questions were that basic. I was just genuinely like, what advice do you have? Like, how can I do this thing with Kinjas and how can I pursue this? And you just as a homie, as a sister back then, like, and that was 2000. 2012
Something
or
like that.
13. It was either 2012 or 13. So definitely a solid 7-8 years ago now, and I'm just one of those guys that like, that was so important and core of a conversation and a moment where I was like, I'm going to take this advice and I'm going to run with it. And that's all I've been able to try and do. Just fucking run. You know what I mean? And like heed that advice and take it like wholeheartedly. So to sit here, there's like a poetic justice to like the irony of being like, I feel uncomfortable as you're like giving me props because like you should get some props for you guys' selves for like inspiring a young cat like myself.
Don't do that. No, you can't do that.
Thank you for tuning
Well, I'm
into
gonna
this
give
episode of
Gio
the
props
podcast
because
where
I
you
wasn't
don't
even
now.
there.
Nah.
So I'm gonna give Gio props.
You
That's
can't do
awesome.
that. So
I
like,
have to. That's what was
beautiful.
missing in the first podcast. That was the heartfelt moment. I was like,
know.
"This, I have to share this. People
Yeah.
don't know this."
Yeah.
Thank you.
that's beautiful.
I gotta hold your hand. No homo, just for a little bit. Yeah.
That's cute, and I appreciate that. But like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like it's. I just feel like that's just what homies do, Like, we just always want to see each other win and shit. So, I appreciate that you took it that way and you took it to heart. And like, I mean, I do expect a percentage of whatever it is that you're making now.
That's the difference, right? You give like hella homies advice, but not all of them always like heed them, right?
No, they don't.
I fucking take advice. Like
Yeah.
I'm like,
You
if
do,
I
you're
ask for it, I'm
awesome.
like, I have to take it.
Yeah. But I mean, you're still trying to be humble, and that's not what I'm trying to hear, bro. Like,
This is
I don't
my
want to.
podcast.
I don't want to hear you be humble. Like, I want to brag about you. We want to brag about you. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, one more humble thing I have to say then, at the very, very least. Like, I'm very fucking proud of everything that Kinja has done, but like for sure, you guys know that's not all me. There's like a whole crew, a whole team behind it.
Absolutely.
So anybody who like, is hip on Kinjas and stuff, and the very least, like I would have never been able to do it with like without, my Gio, my Bart, like my Mike Song, you know what I'm saying? Is like to have somebody to like ride and die with that whole time, it is very, very shout out Mike Song. That's what I have to do. Now we can brag about me. It's all about me now.
Okay, yeah, we've
But
set
other
the
than
record
that-
straight.
Oh yeah, and Nina still, yes.
Out of all the things that you've done, though, I mean, like the list goes on, right? But is there something that you are the most proud of, whether it's in your career or not in your career?
Ooh, that's
Like, could be life ones too, because a lot of people.
No, that's super deep, man.
Like for me, I think, it's cool like doing all these things when it's your own personal passion, right? And you're just doing your hobbies, and it's kind of like it has it's driven by a little bit of selfishness, not in the bad connotation, but in what your personal interests are.
Yeah.
But now that I have a kid, or even when we got married, it's almost as if it doesn't really matter how much it interests me. If on the end result, if there's nothing that benefits us, then it almost isn't even as fulfilling.
I understand.
If it only benefits me, And I know you guys have a big ass crew too. So I'm sure like there's much more consideration of things that just benefit you or benefit you and your fiance. But what about like your crew or, your life or your parents?
For sure.
I love how you're about to answer this really deep question with the fucking bandana on your forehead. Yeah, you look so.
Let me just get serious.
That's Joe on JK News. He goes
You're
hella
hanging
deep.
out with him for too long.
He's going
man.
hella deep, and he has like a fur cape on with the kazoo going out of his mouth,
Dude.
and he's dropping some knowledge bombs.
Yeah, he's like going historical, political shit, and you're sitting there and it's like this shirtless ass dude with his fucking feet on the table.
Yeah,
is like
black ass
telling me
feet.
about Mongolian
with like
warlords.
3 hairs coming out of his nipples. I'm like, this guy is just crazy.
And he's looking at you and he's like, what are you looking
Yeah,
at?
yeah, like you're the
Like,
problem.
what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Okay. First answer that come out of my. This is gonna sound like I guess not superficial, but I'm gonna
Who
say
gives a fuck? Just go for it.
I'm really proud of Kinja Bang Noodles more because like how the fuck did we get there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think one of the things that I remember, oh fuck, what was his name? Mitchell.
Yes.
Mitchell, yes, you fucking know Mitchell.
Mayor of Monterey Park.
Like
Yeah.
this
The homie.
most standout thing he ever said to me that again that I fucking don't know. Sometimes I'll hear advice maybe from my parents and that shit will just go right out the other ear.
Yeah.
But then sometimes people will randomly say something at the unique time in your life and it just sticks, right? And I remember his full just fucking lecturing my ass, and half the times I'm like, yes, Mitchell, just yes, I'm down for you, so I will listen, right? And this time I was like, oh shit. That's really good advice. And he was like, you guys know the story. I bet you he said the same fucking shit to you guys. He was like, the gold rush? And I was like, yeah. He's like, you know, the miners that went to go get the gold rush? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, do you know who actually got the most rich during that time or the most successful? I'm like, the miners, right? And he's like, no, it's actually the ones who were selling them the shovels and the pitchforks. It was actually the people that were like building the hotels out there for the miners and their families to stay in. You see, it's never just about like the person who's like in the spotlight. It's about the industry that builds around. Right, because he was talking about the UFC example about the dudes that started UFC.
Yeah.
Right,
But then not the same story too.
Exactly. Right,
Yeah.
same fucking story. Just like trying to relate it to like your own shit. Right, talking about how it's like it's not just about the fighter. It's like there's a whole world tap out can get built. You know what I mean? Brands and all this stuff. So don't just think about what you're doing. Think about everything that revolves around that industry. And I was like, that's very, very good advice, especially at my age. Right. So I was like, dance can't just be my thing. It has to be a half step and a vehicle to everything else. I have to use it as a means to get me from place to place, not as the thing that is the place I want to be at. So I actually, even to this day, I don't actually look at dance as my thing. The irony in that. Dance is like, for real, honestly, it's my vehicle. It takes me to places. It gets me places, you know? And we only knew how to take a half step out every single time. Dance is super close to like fashion. So we're like, yeah, we should make apparel. Dance is close to music. So yeah, let's produce some beats. Dance is close to health and fitness, blah, 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 this and that. But to get like, noodles is like a full step. I don't know if that's like a half step.
Yeah.
It's like you were like, oh, it should be vegan, like nutrition, but it's not like we're going into things like Barbell was doing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like building a fitness gym or programs or like creating like creatine or whatever the hell you guys like pre-workout. That, by the way, I want that new boba flavored pre-workout. I'm hearing
You'll
about
get it. Brown sugar
yeah.
boba.
brown sugar. That's one. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Screech. Sorry to interrupt here, but I wanted to talk about our sponsor, Skylight Frames. Thank you so much for sponsoring this podcast. I absolutely love this digital frame. As we know, the holidays are right around the corner and you want to gift a unique, heartfelt gift, right? You don't want to just get any generic gift from anywhere. You want this gift to come from the heart. And that's why I'm so happy to be talking about Skylight Frames, which is a touchscreen photo frame that you can email photos to and they appear in the frame in a matter of seconds. I got this gift, I got this frame for my mom last year for Mother's Day. And it's been the coolest gift that keeps on giving, honestly, because as you guys know, we live in Nevada now. She lives in California. So, I mean, we live in a digital era. So I'm always taking pictures of, of my son, Taika, or just adventures that we go on. And it's super rad that all I do is get those pictures, and I email them to her frame. And like I said, in a matter of seconds, she has them in her frame, in her rotation, without her having to do anything. Because let me tell you, my mom is old school and technology just isn't her thing. And if she can use it, trust me, anyone can use it. It is such a freaking cool gift. Right now, you guys definitely want to get in on this. You guys want to put in your order before things get nuts or you're doing last minute shopping. So take advantage of this because right now, we're going to offer you guys $10 off your purchase of a Skylight frame when you go to skylightframe.com and enter code BEAW, BEAW. Yep, hooking you up with a $10 off deal on your purchase of a Skylight frame. Just go to skylightframe.com and enter code BEAW, BEAW. That's SKYLIGHTFRAME.com and enter code BEAW. And thank you to our sponsor, Ana Luisa, that is creating the cutest, chicest, trendiest, most affordable jewelry on the market right now. I own a few pieces of Ana Luisa. I have a couple rings. I have some hoop earrings, bracelets, and a couple necklaces. And let me tell you, they are so damn cute that you can dress them up or dress them down. And it's going to elevate any outfit that you wear. So you're wearing, denim and a t-shirt. Don't worry. Hook it up with some Ana Luisa jewelry and it elevates it. And it looks so cute and it doesn't look too done up. You know what I mean? Like it looks like you're trying, but like not too hard. But let's say you have a fancy dinner or event to attend at night. Keep the jewelry on, change the wardrobe, and boom, elevate it again. Fits in the perfect setting. Fits in every single setting. Don't miss out. everyone listening right now, we're going to hook you up. Go to shopanaluisa.com/Bill and go treat yourself or your loved ones. Use the code BEAW, BEAW, to get 10% off. Again, I absolutely love their jewelry. It dresses up, dresses down, fits perfect for every single occasion. So just go to shop.analuisa.com/Bill, enter code BEAW, BEAW, and you're going to get 10% off. Do not miss out. Trust me. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast. All right. We all know the importance of mental health. We all know that it starts within us, whatever it is that we want to achieve in life, or whoever it is that we're trying to connect with, or just being a decent member of the society. I think it's of paramount importance that we are happy within, that we are happy with ourselves. So if there's something that has been interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals, then BetterHelp is going to be for you, okay? So BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist, all right? You can start communicating in under 48 hours. It's not a crisis hotline. It's not self-help. You're literally communicating with a professional therapist, and it's going to be done securely online. So you don't have to worry about leaving the comfort of your own home. Or for some of us that live in, rural towns or cities, we don't have access to a lot of, professionals out there. So it's always good to know that BetterHelp has your back. So right now, for everyone listening, we're hooking you up with a special offer. You're going to get 10% off your first month. That's the first 30 days. 10% off at betterhelp.com/Bill. You have nothing to lose and literally everything to gain. I mean, this is only going to let you know what it is that you need, and you're going to be talking to the right people that is going to help guide you get everything that it is that you need. So go to betterhelp.com/bear. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/Bill, BEAW.
Or amphibious short set, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like we went fucking noodles, and this was a drunk conversation that me, Mike, and my boy Alex, our partner, had, because he was making consumer packaged goods as well, and we were just connecting after 10 years since I used to work for his clothing company and stuff. So when that happened,
how did that come about with three drunk guys?
Honestly, me and Mike were probably just arguing again for the 18th time about what was better, ramen or pho, and it's really not even for me. It's not even about winning.
Which one did you pick? Which one did you
I'm
pick?
a pho guy.
Oh, come on.
But I love ramen, so I don't hate on it. I just have to argue with Mike. It's not even, you get it. It's not.
Yeah.
Me and him are married. You know what I'm saying? It's
I'm the biggest fan of ramen, but hands down pho.
See, that's what I'm saying.
No, dude, it's always
we were
ramen.
just born this way.
Yeah.
I mean, ramen's delicious. It's al dente. You got the egg noodles for sure, right?
Look, you just sold yourself.
But when you are down in the fucking dumps and you're sick and you have body aches, what do you want?
Yeah,
what is going to be
ramen.
the thing that is going to nurture your soul? Pho hits you in the soul.
It really does.
I think ramen hits you in the taste buds, and you're like, it's like a head high. Pho is a body high. Yeah.
I love you.
That's pretty good.
No, pho, it's like, man, I could have the shittiest day, but if I go to a good pho place with literally 4 chairs and there's flies in there and it's only $5 for a bowl.
Yeah. And they got the thumb in the soup. Like when they hand you the soup, the thumb's inside. You know what I mean?
And
the water tastes a little bit like the soap that
and
they
you're on
use.
a plastic kids chair, the
That's
little
kinda
blue
wobbly.
and yellow ones that you find in Chinatown.
Yeah. But your first slurp, done. You're already transported into a different place.
All right.
Hands down pho.
It's like the critic when he eats ratatouille at the end of ratatouille.
Oh, and it just zooms.
That's pho to me. Oh. So it doesn't necessarily need to be the illest thing on the menu, the most expensive. It just takes me somewhere else.
Got you.
And I didn't even like pho. When my friends first introduced me to it, I'm like, ugh, Vietnamese people eat dog food? Because that's what it looked like to me. Because it was
How the fuck did white noodles look like dog food?
What? It's in
it's
fucking
the other
food.
stuff.
What are you talking
It's
about?
the tripe, the honeycomb, whatever. All the other crazy tendon shit.
You're Chinese. What the fuck are you talking about?
I know, but I grew up vegetarian.
Oh, okay.
So my half.
You grew up vegetarian?
Yeah, my mom's vegetarian. So the first half step was me eating chicken in the shape of dinosaurs.
Your mom Buddhist? Oh.
So like, so anything outside of like steak or a perfectly cut piece of meat, it was like, it wasn't appetizing, you know? And so when I saw like fucking white honeycomb,
like coagulated blood,
yeah,
and shit
that
like
stuff,
that.
I was like,
yeah, fuck you
what
up.
the? I'm like, did you guys get this at the back of another restaurant and put it in here? But now it's my favorite food. Vietnamese easily top 3, one of my favorite foods.
It's wrong. But
Okay.
yeah, so to answer your question, I think like knowing and being that person that I am with what I want to do with dance and stuff like that too, in terms of what to be proud of, I always wanted it just to be a cool vehicle. And I'm proud of the places that I've stopped along the way with it. Right now, obviously, Nike is a whole different level of pride that I'm like, again, my head's in the clouds with it.
Yeah,
But-
thanks for
insane.
thanks for still being our friends after that.
Yeah.
we're yeah.
But the noodles is just the most like, how the fuck did we get here? And how is it even like this much of a conversation still? Like, how did we not fucking just fail
yeah,
right
how
away?
did you guys just push it forward? Were you guys just like, fuck it, let's just for shits and giggles see?
Like, I think me and Mike, like we learned what we were good at and we learned exactly what we're not good at. You know what I mean? One of the things that we're not good at is if we want to build like another thing associated with our brand or another company, at the end of the day, it's not like we have the bandwidth to run another company. We have the bandwidth to like be associated with or like put our licensing on it or like, you know, engineer some of the marketing or the way that it's maybe brought to our consumers. But at the end of the day, like we can't just build a new food product, run everything from the financials to the packaging to the logistics and negotiate with every single distributor.
Wow,
So
you sound lazy.
finding the right pretty much specialized producers to become partners with was the thing that like we really learned, because before I think we were always trying to do everything ourselves and do it in-house and like, you know, we got to do it from the ground up. It's got to be our own taste. We're the artists, blah, blah, blah. Fuck that shit. The pandemic really kind of like, you know, made us put on our big boy pants because, you know, a lot of things just kind of changed for us, good and bad. All silver lining, but like, you know, finding the right partner is what enabled us to get that far. So once we were able to work with Alex in his strength, in his field, then just combining
Who's
the two.
one of the partners in Kinjaz?
Yeah, he's actually one of the co-owners of Kinjaz, and he's actually our appointed CEO for the
Nice.
company. Same thing for even me and Mike to like humble ourselves and be like, hey, you know what? We shouldn't be fucking running the business of this thing. We have to run the organization from like an internal, from a community, from a team. But like there's so many other things that we still have to direct. Running the actual business and ensuring that it's going to survive, especially when you're doing business with friends. You know what I'm saying? And making the right calls.
Yeah.
Me and Mike were like, hey, we're going to step away from that position so that everybody still can win.
Yeah.
And then we could take care of what our actual superpower is, what brought us here in the first place.
Smart.
Whether it be our creative or whether it even just be our people communication skills to keep the family feeling like a family. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's dope.
that was a hard thing to like understand about ourselves, but that's also what enabled it to go as far as it has, like really recognizing, you know, strengths in other people and weaknesses in yourself, but that's what makes the whole bigger, you know?
Nice. I like big holes.
Nice. And I cannot lie.
No, but that's fucking dope that you guys were able to see that in business like fairly quickly, right? Because I think that's just like what a lot of people kind of get stuck at. Even me. Like I think I just learned maybe this year that we all have our strengths and our weaknesses, and kind of figuring out what that shit is always fucking hard. And then being able to look at yourself and be like, that's not you, or this is you, so move in that lane or get out of this lane.
You guys
let
do a
these
good
people
job.
come in.
You guys are fucking in the thick of it right now, obviously. Again, fucking shout out, Get Close, brand new branding, new podcast show, new fucking house in Vegas. Like, you know, like moving on and evolving different sectors of you guys' stuff. Like being, even for me, just keeping constantly throughout the years, always traveling, but always trying to be back and be like, hey, I'm back. Let me just see if I can get in JK News or whatever. Just staying close has constantly given me a fucking cool, shining example. Again, there's millions of ways to get to the top of the mountain. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like the examples that you look at, the ones that relate with you, you guys fucking know how to evolve shit and adapt. And I'm like, that's what needs to be done, because we were holding on to a lot of the old stuff, the old way. And in a new world, right?
Yeah.
Especially post-pandemic,
Yeah.
it's like some of those stuff just doesn't hold up. So like we're in a heavy season of just adapting. But yeah, really, really proud that we're still alive, to be honest. Because some groups and some companies, you know, didn't really make it in our scene, in our
Dude,
industry.
it's sad. Like, because, you know, I don't think anyone saw the pandemic coming. So everyone has a dream.
Some people
except for the
did.
leaders of the world.
Some people did, yeah. Yeah, those
On the same
motherfuckers.
page, bro.
But like, like talking about Monterey Park, that's like my stomping grounds from like 15 until, like as of recent, right? And seeing how a lot of these mom and pop shops have killed it for literally 20 years.
Oh, I know.
And then the pandemic comes, which no one saw coming on that street. They're like, of course they're going to try to stick to their old ways and not evolve into the new world, right? Because they're like, I've already been doing this for 20 years. This will pass.
They don't even know how to start.
Yeah, this will pass. And then you go down Garvey Avenue and there's literally only 3 restaurants open. You're like, fuck, that sucks.
The pandemic was straight survival it was natural selection. Like emotions aside, not trying to be, I'm talking about businesses. I don't want to talk about that for a fucking human species, like sensitivity element. But from
the
like
concept
a business,
of natural selection is this.
Yeah. Like when it's like Noah's Ark, right? Like water came out, wiped a bunch of people, and like only the people either had support, financial backing, other things to rely on during a weird time. Like you guys were telling me how fucking luckily for you guys with Barbell, the pre-workout and all that stuff came out right before.
Yeah.
It was perfectly timed. If not for that, I think we would have been under 2.
Yeah.
And it was, we didn't see
crazy.
that coming or anything like that. The pre-workout was a result of having Taika, and I was exhausted and I just couldn't find any type of pre-workout that I felt like that was going to get me through the type of workouts that I wanted to do. And so just threw out of necessity to try to stay awake during workouts, we created that. And it just so happened that
See,
that
get close
launched.
Fans. You see why I brought my 2 guests here today. Why
I know
why
you
they're so
motherfuckers, stop
constantly
flipping it up.
inspiring.
No,
Look at that.
you're annoying.
All right, I actually want to get personal, or I want to get close
Let's
with
get
you. I want to
real
get
close.
personal with
Good
you.
branding.
So
Everybody, take off your pants.
So a lot of the things that you guys do, it's a big family venture, right? We all got to do this together. We reap the rewards
least that's
together.
what we see from the outside.
And that's what we see from the outside.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's awesome about having a team. But also the teams are made up of teammates, which are individuals. And so like one thing I always wanted to know is out of all the things that you've done, right? And like, let's say the world does end for some reason and you're on an island by yourself, or you're just by yourself for some reason, post-apocalyptic. What is something that you've done that you feel like you can pat yourself on the back for? You're like, you know what? I know I live in this world by myself, but fuck, that was tight,
Oh, that is a good question.
I mean, again, my head's in the clouds, but right now the fucking Nike shit that we just did
Yeah.
is like for the culture.
Yeah.
I think legacy. I think the word legacy comes to mind.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
just talked about the noodles stuff.
Yeah.
That's like fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's not like necessarily like my legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But with what we just did with being the lead consultants and co-designing with Tinker Hatfield, the new dance shoe for Nike, and it's not like
Not pay less.
it's what am I trying to say? If I were like a sick ass basketball player in today's world, and it's like Kyrie or something like that,
Yeah.
getting to make another shoe. It's not like there are all these other shoes before me, Kobe's and Jordans and all
Yeah.
these. This is like there's no other concept of this before, to the point where when we had to go in and do shoe testing for this thing, and like actually before they even developed the shoe, they needed to learn about how dancers move. So they had to take us in with our regular dance shoes, whatever we normally get down with, and they had to do like scientific studies and measurements.
Did you wear like Converse and other shoes outside of Nike?
Hell no.
All right.
Well, Converse is owned by Nike. So
Okay, good point.
Technically,
Good point.
it's fine.
All right.
But like if we were rocking shell toes, it was just like literally they were saying show up in what you show up with. That's not
Yeah.
the point. Just show up in what you show up with. So we go to campus and they take us down in the innovation center where they do like lab testing, actual lab testing. And they take us to this basement, and the hangar doors literally look like fucking you're just in a bunker.
Is it like some dude with like a badge, or like retina scan type shit? Or
Like everything from like the craziest NDAs I've ever signed in my life to like, to badges and fingerprint shit. Like it's like
Whoa.
pretty intense.
Damn. It's like some White House type shit.
It's sick. And you go down there and it's like, they take us to the basketball room because there's no dance room. Like that's how brand new where we're at with this whole thing. They don't even have a name for it or a category, and they're arguing on whether or not it should even be called dance. You know what I mean? Like there's so many
like it'd be a movement shoe or something like that.
Exactly. So there's a whole world of things that they have yet to figure out. We're the guinea pigs. You know, there's actually a bittersweet feeling about it because like we maybe started a dialogue. We didn't answer any problems. We just started dialogue, you know what I mean? Moved the needle, if you will. But that I think that's enough for me to be proud of in terms of the legacy because there wasn't something beforehand. So even if we fucked up, the fact is it happened and now somebody can build off of it. You know what I'm saying? I remember sitting, they took us to where the basketball people go in there to test their shoes because there's a basketball court, so the flooring makes the most sense for us. It's not like we're going to dance mainly on turf, right? So we go to the basketball floor, and there's a clear window, you know, on the floor that has like weight sensors and stuff, cameras and lights, so they can track your foot movement.
It's speed. Clear,
yeah, just a square, like where the free throw hole is, right? And then Toby Hatfield, Tinker's brother, comes in, and he's like. Sitting down with me, yeah. And he's huge. He's like a sick ass VP in Nike that kills it too. By the way, damn. From internal in the shadows, this whole Rex.
Yeah, because I never even heard this, but I just know the legendary
Rex
designer
shop. Right. Whoa. Anyways, and he sits down with me because I'm like sitting on the side while other guys are getting tested and stuff, and he's like, how you feeling? And I was like, this is crazy. I can't believe we're here. And he's like, yeah, LeBron recently was testing his stuff right there.
Amazing.
And I'm like,
my God.
I don't even know what to do with that information. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just like, okay. That's all you, there's nothing.
Like, oh, yeah.
I can't even measure the weight of what that means as a dancer because there's no other experience before us. You know what I mean? And, even just sitting in it, like the bungalow where they do like their crazy innovation meetings with Tinker and being like, and trying to be an ambassador for dance, even beyond Kindreds, and just trying to say honest things. Not like, yo, it'd be sick, like if it had these colors because our brand, you know what I mean? It had nothing to do with us. Yeah. It was genuinely even being like, we're a little worried that like one shoe's not going to cut it. Like dancers are fickle. There's a lot of different types of movers. Like a ballet dancer's not going to care. You know what I mean? And it was one of those moments where he had to seriously be like, we know that this isn't going to be the answer for the entire culture, but people at the top, people who make real decisions for these kinds of things, even on behalf of Nike, sometimes they need something to understand and believe in. And it starts with one thing.
You never go, well, if you don't make the calls, I'm talking to the wrong person.
But you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, that's what you need. So like, I think that's what we did. We started with one thing. And if that were like the entirety of my dance legacy, I could honestly hang up my shoes and be proud for myself. Even if people don't understand the weight of that. You know what I'm saying? Because we did that shit in the shadows too, like for 4 years.
I love it. Look at that. The branding never changes.
In the shadows for 4 years.
In the shadows,
not allowed to talk about this shit. You know what I mean?
4 years?
For 4 years, we've been doing it since the end of December 2017. And the thing is, like, straight up, I started when I was 31 on that project. I'm 35 now.
Wow.
But here's the bittersweet part. Imagine a 35-year-old basketball player in the NBA. Maybe they have great stats and legacy and all this shit, but
it's
like,
not that good.
Yeah, like you're looking at the fucking 20-year-old that's killing everyone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that I'm humbled to like be a part of, you know, this moment for dance, but I also have to humble myself and understand that like somebody else is meant to pick up these shoes and do something with it. You know what I'm saying?
I also feel like I don't know if you feel this way or if other people perceive it this way, but because there has been no other model for it, it's almost like your guys' version of going to space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, or whatever. It's like, yeah, we're using technology that exists now, but we're going into a frontier that no one has ever been. We don't know what the uses of that frontier are. We just know that we need to get there because that is obviously the next step. We've been staring at a telescope at a moon for decades now. So it's like, yeah, dancers wear shoes and the athletes, they move around and there hasn't been a shoe designed for the needs of a dancer. So we have to take that next step and who knows what happens after then. Like it could catapult a giant industry or it could be nothing.
I think with the momentum of Paris 2024 Olympics officially having breaking, involved B-boy and B-girl in there, that momentum plus where we're at, this is like the moment. Like if there was a moment of momentum that could push the needle enough for some motherfuckers out there to suddenly be like, let's put this shit on ESPN. Let's make a reality TV show about it. Let's do a Netflix docuseries about like a crew and follower. Like they do that other, you know, like the basketball and the football documentaries for like high school teams and stuff. Like it doesn't just have to be dance moms or like studio ballet nutcracker stuff that's like traditional that people understand. Like there's a whole world, and we just need enough momentum at one time for the right people to kind of pick up and you know, it's almost like institutional money for Bitcoin. I feel like we're at like 2006 or 2009 for Bitcoin, but for like dancers, you know what I'm saying? And you just hope and believe in something ideal about it, but we'll see who can pick it up later.
Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this podcast. Guys, how long have we all been working from home? Honestly, how much time have we all gained from not having to get ready in the morning to not having to make breakfast or cook or just run out the door grabbing a banana or whatever's that you can for breakfast, sitting in your car, waiting in traffic, and then going to work, getting your work done, and then repeating the whole process, leaving work, coming back home. All of that time that you have saved, Skillshare is here to help you optimize it so that you can learn a brand new skill. Do you want to be a better photographer? Do you want to be a better interior designer? Or not even better, do you want to start all of that? Skillshare is hooking you up with so many cool classes on art, on writing, on business. You name it, they're going to have a class for you. I have an iPhone. And I am on Instagram, and I really wanted to take better pictures. And I didn't think that I needed better equipment to do that. I'm like, hey, this iPhone is so cool. So what did I do? I went to Skillshare. I looked at all of the courses that they offer. And sure enough, there was a course on how to optimize your iPhone in taking the best pictures. And let me tell you, my picture game has changed significantly. Like I'm doing pictures where I'm like turning the phone completely upside down and it comes out so rad. I highly recommend that you sharpen those tools of yours or just finally do something good for yourself and learn some rad ass skills. For everyone listening right now, we want you to explore your creativity at Skillshare.com/Bell and get a 1 month free trial of premium. Yes, premium membership. That's a 1 month of premium membership at Skillshare.com/Bell. BEAW. Thank you so much to one of my favorite app games, Best Fiends. Right now, y'all need to download this game because it is such a fun, cute, family-friendly game that requires no type of internet. So I know a lot of us are starting to get back into travel. And we all know that when we're in a plane, for the most part, there isn't free Wi-Fi, but you don't even have to sweat it because you don't need it to play this game. With Best Fiends, you play through an actual storyline, which is really cute, complete with good guys, which are the Fiends, and the not so good guys, the guys I hate, which are the slugs, all right? So the Fiends, they're all these cute little insects that are trying to protect this garden from these nasty ass slugs that are trying to like invade and kill everything. It's super cute because there's multiple levels per theme, and once you finish that, then you change to a completely different theme. So you start off, I think, like on a farm, and then eventually you end up in a place that looks like Alaska or Antarctica. It's just like a bunch of ice everywhere, and like the themes change constantly. You're never in two places, or you never see the same place twice, is what I meant to say. The graphics are so vibrant, so happy, and it's actually challenging. Like I find myself really trying to like figure stuff out. It is the coolest pastime that I do for myself when I'm just trying to unwind. Definitely check it out. Best Fiends, download it. It's for free. Download it today at the Apple App Store or Google Play. That's friends without the R, okay? Best Fiends.
On the people going to fucking space and stuff like that, right? Yeah. You see those memes where the first people that landed on the moon or like the first spaceships that went out there is like way less technology than like today's modern iPhone.
Yes.
Like everybody in their own fucking cell phone has way more technology, like tenfold than the tech they use to get humans onto the fucking moon. That's what it feels like where we're at right now.
Wow.
In like the dance journey with like this kind of movement.
That's crazy that like ABDC and all that is like when Bitcoin was under $1.
So what it felt like. Well, for cruise.
For cruise.
For like the, especially.
But even in like the dance world, right? Like I remember when the first inception or concept of a dance star, when before it was like, oh, you got Janet Jackson and her dancers.
Yeah, all backup.
Yeah, but now it's like, no, the dancer is the star.
Yeah.
And that concept, and that change was crazy.
And that's what we had to use back then to even like get our name out there. Before, everybody would literally be like if a dance workshop was happening, it would be like Janet Jackson.
Right.
And then like choreographer or dancer of blah, blah, blah. Like on the flyer, you would always advertise the artist, the credit, or the industry.
Yeah. Madonna's dancer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't even be like, I don't even fucking know who this person is, but I know that they choreographed for this person, so it's maybe a credible class to show up to. Like that's how it always was every single time, you know? And you had a few sick ass anomalies out there. You had like Wade Robson's, you know what I mean? You had like people like Poppin' Taco who was trained in Michael Jackson. You would know of a couple things, but like it wasn't until like our generation, YouTube generation, ABDC on TV type generation, TikTok, that like suddenly, Instagram. Suddenly it all turned around. And even especially not just turn out for dancers, but for even like Asian specific dancers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like having a chance to build your own industry if the regular industry didn't let you come play with them.
No, I think it's fucking tight. And it's a true testament of who you are as a person. Because you keep doing this and I know you're not doing it intentionally, but like you keep... we tell you something good that you're doing and you're like, but it wasn't me. It's this whole thing, right? And I get it. Like, you know, it always feels weird to have the spotlight on you, but I think you as a person, for you to like carry this weight on your back that you really didn't have to do, right? Like if this whole Nike thing is happening, you could have just been like, why? I mean, and it wouldn't be wrong if you were just like, yeah, let's see how we can incept Kinjaz into all of this and make some type of collab with Nike and Kinjaz and only focus on your crew. But like for you, because I mean, that's one thing I love about you is that you don't operate off of scarcity and you're never like the type of person to be like, oh shit, this is my shit. This is the only thing that I'm going to ever have. And this is everything that I am. So I want to protect it at all costs. You're all about like the community that you build, whether that's with dance, with your homies. Like it's a beautiful thing, man. And I think that's what really has, you know, propelled you. Obviously your work ethic, obviously, you know, whatever it is that you put into anything that you're passionate about, all of that hard work, all of the fucking tireless nights. Like I've seen you, like you'll do a podcast with us. And then right after you're like going into meetings. After that, you're going into another podcast for your own shit. But it's just the ability to like always wanting to give back to like the community or the people that you love that like we absolutely admire about you, you know, because you didn't have to go into this Nike deal and be like, yo, this is tight. Like this is the conversation that we're having for, you know, my community of dancers, you know, like you're like, I know I'm not going to solve a problem, but like at least the conversation's starting. Like that's so dope. Like I think, yes, like with your question of like, you know, what are you going to be proud of? You know, if you're it's post-apocalyptic, you're on this stranded island and now you're like going back into your memory space and going, okay, well, what am I proud of? What are my accomplishments? From what I see, I think it's the ability for you to just, fuck, I lost my train of thought. God damn it. So good.
Now you have to take it back and butter it up all from the beginning. And I want to hear all of that juice.
It's just because I was just feeling it. But even just your answer, right, of you saying like, oh, the legacy that I'm leaving behind. It's like, dude, that's still such a humble answer. You know, it's the fact that you're able to like really care about people at the end of the day. Like it really is that simple. Like how much heart you have for people, I think is a really beautiful thing. Because like I said, a lot of people would go into a lot of these things saying, well, how can I come up? How can I have my legacy for my shit come up? But for you, it's like, yo, like I did this for everyone I care about. And that's such a selfless thing to do. I think that's fucking beautiful.
Thank you.
So I got through it. My bad, dude. My bad.
Was there ever a point where like, because obviously, you know, success is in a straight line. There's ups and downs like crazy. Mm-hmm. And sometimes without the downs, there's no ups. And sometimes right after the highest peak, there's the deepest valley, you know? Mm-hmm. Was there ever a point where you're like, man, I fucking regret doing this, or I regret this happened, or I regret this about myself. But then later on, you're like, I'm so glad that happened because that made who I am today.
Dude, honestly, this year I had the strongest feelings of, you always want to be like, I don't regret shit. You know what I mean? Like you try your best.
That's
to
an
be like,
optimistic way of saying
everything,
it, yeah.
you have to have a silver lining, blah, blah, blah. So you like coach yourself through that. But at the end of the day, like you're saying that in your head, but your body's like going through fucking remorse. So you know what I'm saying? Like that was this fucking year for us. Like, bro, like,
it was supposed to happen.
Again, not to be so pandemic centric, but like that shit was fucking crazy. Like,
that wrecked everyone, dude.
Our children won't be able to understand. They'll go through their own like wartime, their own pandemic potentially, But this is like our wartime, right? This is like our fucking Vietnam War.
I hope this is it.
Hopefully,
I hope so.
But like fuck, dude, this is still even hard. I haven't even processed how fucking much I went through my own remorse, but we were pretty much partnering with our Chinese partner Sinostage in order to open up the fucking world's premier creative dance blah 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 center, in the heart of Los Angeles. This is some real shit. Like,
describe it. I've been there.
Oh my god,
Man,
we called this place
sick.
the Complex.
You
You did go.
Oh, okay. That's the one.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Our regular studio brand was Kinja's Dojo, right? It's just supposed to be on our theme. It's not a martial arts studio. You go there, you fucking learn the way the Kinjas, blah blah, dance, right?
Which is all sick as fuck. I know you're downplaying it, but we're here to upplay that shit, and it was sick as fuck. And it's not blah, blah,
which
blah.
was for us, obviously. But the point was for the complex, even more sick, like state of the art. Film center, for our production team, vibrancy, executive meeting place with conference rooms so that we can like conduct our business or bring different partners there. Heart of Los Angeles, which meant it was fucking expensive, but it was like in the heartbeat of LA. So
how many square feet was it?
We were talking over 11,000 square feet or something like that. It was like 12,000 square feet. We had our own back house. We renovated this place. We went into a 5-year contract. A 5-year lease deal, with options to extend because we were so bullish on like, if you want to fucking.
I mean, you weren't wrong though. Before pandemic, you weren't wrong at all.
And that's the hard part, right? You can't anticipate those things, but at the same time, you have to. No matter what, you can't complain about it. It's not like, pandemic, therefore. It's like everybody had to go through it. So you're still in a state of like not really being able to complain because everybody's going through it.
Yeah.
It's not like somebody fucked you over or even that you fucked up. It's just like, this is happening and this is where my bag that I'm left to deal with at the end of the day, right? And this spot we did our grand opening end of January 2020.
Oh boy.
Which is literally the day before the week of our grand opening was also the week that we did like our 10-year anniversary for Kinjas. And we were sitting down with the VP of Nike in the complex. So we were like,
sick. What a flex.
So like, everything was like, if there was ever a time for me to be like, I'm fucking crushing it right now. I'm fucking on top of the world. It's like grand opening our complex, 10-year anniversary of Kinja's. Like we made it this far.
That's like Wolf on Dance Street.
VP of Nike is like sitting.
Like, fuck, what the fuck is going on? I can't lose.
And then when they're in this facility, we're meeting with Nike and they're impressed by where we're at. We're like, I'm impressed by where we're at. You know what I'm saying?
We are fucking impressed.
Like not by space, but even by moment in time with Nike. And then in that meeting, I will never forget this. Nobody will ever forget this moment. In that meeting, my fucking phone buzzes, right? And I'm super unprofessional. But I look at it real quick, and then it's Nina, so I have to like double check just in case.
Fucking Nina, man.
Fucking Nina.
Hey. So we love Nina.
We love Nina. And it's all caps, and it's just Kobe died.
That's one of the moments everyone knows where they're at.
Exactly. And I'm in a fucking Nike meeting. Kobe, Nike, like
of course.
So I go, and then obvious, and the VP is like just talking. So everybody knows I'm not a dick or anything like that. So they're just like, okay, share it. And I don't know what to say to these people because like I'm a fan, but maybe you're
closer.
Like you're working with them or know people that are like totally impactful. Right? I'm like, Kobe died, and they're like, what? And then the meeting immediately gets canceled. Everybody's looking it up. They see the confirmation from 16 minutes ago, helicopter, blah, 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 this and this and that.
God.
They're immediately whispering about their coworkers. Like, do you think this person knows, blah, blah, blah. And then the meeting ends. And I swear that moment, literally from Kobe's death, was the downhill spiral
for the world.
For the world,
Yes.
right? So then right after that, even our banquet was like a little bit weird. We had to like
When was the banquet?
the later that day.
Oh,
So it was that day of that we found it.
When the meeting
Found out.
ended, was like people just putting their stuff. Hey, I'm so sorry, but there's bigger issues that we have to deal with.
Pretty much. That was literally like, we're like, hey, let's table this. This is a great conversation. Thank you for like blah, 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 blah. But like, we understand. And literally it ended our meeting.
My God, that's crazy.
So it's
and they
like-
probably flew down too, right?
So then we really need to blame Nina then. Because it could have been a big fucking deal.
Damn, goddamn fucking
Everything
Nina,
happens
dude.
for a
Damn it,
reason.
Nina.
And then everything
Airplane mode, bro. Do not
everything
disturb.
spirals from there, right? And the fucking run, once COVID goes in, then it's like the grand opening of the complex. Suddenly everything went, and then we had to shut down, and
was
then
just, like,
it was like
imploding.
holding on for a long time, and we're trying to figure out during quarantine this
Right.
whole PPP thing, and
Yeah.
other people were getting fat ass loans. We were like doing our best, and we were getting barely any financial support. So then we're like, fuck, we just opened the complex, but okay, at the end of the day, if we want to save the body, we got to amputate like a limb. So we're like, me and Mike had to make this the crazy call. We're like, do we shut the complex down? Or maybe we shut the dojo down first? Like if we cut the dojo out, maybe we can hold on for this much longer, but we'll hold on to the complex.
And were you guys trying to hold on because you guys were hoping it was going to end soon?
Yeah, we were hoping it was going to end. And also we just built it. We were still on a 5-year lease. We had just spent over $1 million.
Oh my God.
Over $1 million
On renovations
renovating
or-
all that,
It was
and bringing
sick,
it to
dude.
code.
God.
Also bringing it to code with the
damn.
city in LA.
Which is
which is horrible.
It's crazy.
So and it took us 2 years to do it. So we signed the lease 2 years prior to our grand opening day.
Yeah.
So like it was this much momentum, and then getting to that moment, even with Nike, like I said, I felt like I was on fucking top of the world because it also took 2 years to open the spot. Shout out to my team for putting in a lot of the work, obviously.
Yeah.
And then it was just decision after decision, just like we got to close the dojo if we want to think about keeping the complex. Close the dojo, had to come to a settlement. That wasn't easy. You know
my
what I'm
God.
saying?
Yeah, 'cause you're breaking the lease,
Yeah, you break
technically.
lease, you got to come to a settlement. That was a financial situation. Fucking couple months later, no end in sight. The complex is kicking our asses. We have to have the second serious conversation. We had to close that down. That was fucking difficult, by the way, because our landlord was a penis.
Yeah.
But
Some of
okay,
us
so
like penis, bro. So is it a good thing or a bad thing?
It's
Stinky
terrible.
penis.
It's terrible.
Oh, stinky penis. Okay, that's bad.
It was terrible. I've never felt such unique feelings towards a human being.
Oh shit.
Unique.
That sucks.
Yeah. But it is what it is. And we got through that, you know what I mean? And we had the same thing, amputate that. But that means you better believe that there's like a 2-3 month, maybe I'm still feeling certain things. I don't know. A period of time where I'm sitting at home and
Like,
we're trying
what
to
the
do remote
fuck
meetings.
happened?
I don't have any more studios. In fact, we also have to close one of our complexes in Shanghai. That one also is in the last stages of its journey.
Does it feel like I feel like, JK started in a bedroom, right? And as you build, I think when you start having an office and you start having like material or physical things, the idea of the dream becomes more and more real. Like when we first got the JK office, I remember like
Monterey Park or the downtown
the
one?
Monterey Park one.
Yeah.
Even though it was small, where we still shoot JK News now, but like now when I tell people like we're a production studio or production company, it doesn't feel like a lie. Even though on paper it's never a lie, right? Because if it's an LLC and you make content professionally,
For sure.
it's not a lie.
Yeah.
But when you're working out of like a 2-bedroom house, it doesn't feel legit. So now that you have the greatest dance studio of all time and you lose that, does it feel like it crushed you? And like
the crazy thing is it wasn't just that. That was like the biggest tangible thing, which again, when you receive over $1 million for a project,
That's
only for it
amazing.
to go away, like literally, and again, it's not your fault. Like that is one thing, right? But in the same time, like remember, like out of our 5 studios, like 2 of them already closed. One was going to close still. We also had 3. We had a major dance competition you guys went to, Arena, both the adult and the kids division in LA, Singapore, and China, all shut down because live events. right?
Yeah.
Our other major form of income or an income in general for our brand, right, was live performances, which were Xnade, right, and group performances.
Yeah,
teaching and traveling, which was Xnade, because you couldn't get into a spot. So like every tier, the only thing that
Every
we had,
revenue stream.
the only thing we had going for us was we fucking sold masks. And that we weren't even prepared to sell that much because we didn't know the massive demand was going to fucking go 8,000% higher.
Yeah.
So we were sold out and that was good. And the little stock that we did have, we were killing it.
Yeah.
But even then, the irony with that even too is that like now everybody wears masks. Our brand is already fucked. It's weirdly fucked in this funny ass way. Again, everything has for real. I'm not pissed off about it. But like now we're getting comments in our content where we're wearing masks and people are like anti-maskers or whatever. They're like, you guys shouldn't be wearing that. You're promoting this and this and that.
So funny.
And then you have other fans going like, are you fucking new? Like,
Yeah,
like,
they've been wearing it.
so all to say, all this fucking sob shit, and how much crap happened to us. Again, I'm not complaining because everybody went through it, but like from a dancer's angle and from our business, literally everything got killed.
Yeah.
Fully.
Yeah.
So just feeling, you just feel failure. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not your fucking fault, and everybody's your closest friends in your family who are so right, trying to be like, it's not you can't help it. And and then even so that you're also strong enough and like or you're trying to be a good human being too, so you accept that and you know you're like I know and you let it be easy because you're not trying to argue with another person about how shitty that is. And then you go home and you sit in your own thoughts where you get to just argue with yourself and you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. And you're like, I fucking feel like if I didn't fail, I'm at the bottom of something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you feel that by yourself, or did you feel that with Nina? Feel that with Mike?
I know that Mike also felt his own version, but I think that it wasn't like a fire happened around us and then the fire ended so that you had time to just sit in like destruction.
Yeah.
It's like the fire burned everything, but the fire's still
going.
blazing.
Still burning.
Yeah.
So you're just like, I know everything sucks, but I'm still trying to put out fires. So
Yeah.
you keep going. It's like a never-ending fucking breakup or something. You know something is happening.
Yeah.
And the irony with it is that like we joke around because we ended up getting a residency at the Row in downtown LA shortly after.
Yeah.
And that residency is done now. It was just a pop-up. It made sense for them too. They were also doing rent abatement for everybody. They're not making money. They wanted somebody else to come in and do some marketing as well. And shout out to the Row. I might be semi-dissing them right now, but the whole point is their space is amazing and fuck yeah, you know? But we could never afford it anyway. So it was just a dope trade-off at the time. We could bring in some people, do some classes, do some marketing. So that even going on, we joke around now about that was like, that's like when a rebound girl. It's like we fucking broke up with the complex and it was so like, this is so terrible. I need to have a rebound. Otherwise, I don't know how I'm going to get through it. So just constantly trying to just like, you know, tread water in the disaster got us through it. And I'm proud that like, you know, we kept our heads high and we like tried to pull on momentum, but I definitely felt the lowest version of something. I haven't felt that since like fucking 2011 when I got laid off, broke up with my girlfriend and had to move back home. And I was in my parents' room, you know what I'm saying?
Heavy.
Being like post college, like I'm a loser.
So
you know?
wait, at what point then? So two questions. The first one is where's the regret in that? Right? Because what you're explaining, I get that you're saying like
I think I was obviously part of the side that pitched the vision for the complex.
Oh,
right.
Gotcha.
The idea of like I'm Chinese enough to know that like you got to be logical and practical with stuff. You know, you got to like, you know, stick to certain routines, or like if it ain't fixed, don't, you know, or if it ain't broke, don't like fix it, blah, blah, blah. Just little things that have to be sensible. But I also have this side of me, maybe it's the Gemini in me that like understands that only crazy people do crazy things.
Oh, it's the Gemini for sure.
Yeah. Like
Just
if you don't have the fucking, that crazy, that loony in you where people are looking at you like, what?
Yeah.
Then you're not going to accomplish something crazy for good, for better or for worse. So I knew that the complex was a crazy thing, but I was like, nobody in our industry, nobody in our scene, nobody in our community, the culture of dance around that follows us all, because the world got smaller through social media. So everybody pays attention, but nobody's doing crazy things that change what it means to be a person in that scene. You know what I mean? Like, if people don't like see the way that dancers look up to Kinjas, I know a part of it is like we are the ones that just do shit that doesn't make sense, but suddenly we make it sensible. So like even arena dance competition, we lost tens of thousands of dollars on that every year. If people don't understand the fucking like the numbers, basic math, when you look at an event like that where you have one night of performances only for one audience and all these people that put in work and costumes, all like, and then a grand prize of $10,000. The only reason why we did a $10,000 grand prize, which guaranteed we were going to be in the red, was because every other competition at most at that time was either free. Dancers don't win shit. You know what I mean? The biggest competitions, you would get a medal, but you still have to pay to compete.
Oh, shit.
Right?
Yeah.
And then at most, the next highest competition was like $2,500 as a grand prize. So like, fuck this, dude. Dancers will never get the credit or the respect they deserve if we don't go to the illest venue, have the sickest judges, and have the nastiest cash prize. That's what's going to tell people this is worthy. And that's what we did. But we lost money every time. But that was the whole point. So even the complex was a part of that. We're not trying to make dollars and profit off the things. We're trying to change the game. And then maybe profits will come from something bigger, right? You guys get the point of that. And so I'm pitching the complex like, we can't just do a dance studio.
Who are you pitching it to?
I'm pitching to our partners, to our partners who have to answer to investors as well. So we're all in it. I'm not taking all the blame or success or whatever. Yeah. But the point is, like, I definitely was like, yo, we're gonna do this in LA. We're gonna get our production house in it. We're gonna be in the heart. We're gonna, just make this big ass thing. And again, I know it's not my fault and it's out of my control, but like, the business moves that you make, you know in your own mind, maybe if I would have done this, maybe if I would have chose a cheaper location, maybe if we would have done this with the type of deal, maybe if we would have struck this or made this call instead of the dojo. Like, there are little things along the way that you start kicking yourself in the ass for, that if I would have just done this slightly different, maybe we would be in a different place. And the thing is, nobody else has the power or the authority or even the fiduciary duty to do that. So it's just on guys like me and Mike. When you're at the top in that sense, you're also in the top of liability and decision making, right? So it's like that's where, again, I can't say remorse or regret, because we are where we are and whatever happened. Right. But there are for sure moments where it's like, should we have made this call instead? Should we have did we do this wrong? And we're probably either still paying for those decisions now, or we're going to move it out the way until there's clarity on like, this had to happen because. Yeah. So it's really just like where your mental fortitude is with what you're willing to work with what you got. So the only thing I can do is now be fucking optimistic, because I've never had to go through something so intense from a business point, but like, what are you going to do? Like, there's no fucking sitting and crying. You just pick up your shit and go, and fortunately, well, here, actually, I'll keep this even. So you want to get close from a business owner to a business owner. And I think I mentioned this to Bart, even off, camera, but like, you can't just receive that much support or partnership with people and then like shit happens and then that's it. Oh, it wasn't my fault, and wipe your hands clean. Like, no, you have to, just like a settlement for breaking the lease, there's compromise. And it's like Mike and I chose with integrity, as much integrity as possible for such a drastic situation, to salvage even the relationship with partners who had to like go and invest so much. So we even straight up, we gave up some equity of our own company, of Kinja's, in order to be like, look, I know that venture didn't go as planned, but we want you to know that was never the point. And we want you to know we're literally, through our actual action, we're in it to the end with you. Wow. Like, you can have a piece of what we are if you truly still believe in us. Because I know we didn't fuck up, but like, that's bad. But like, we want to let you know and continue to have faith in this partnership. And this is our compromise. And like, that was one of the hardest things to do, right? Yeah, like, imagine that, giving up a part of like yourself, your baby, for something it wasn't your fault. Yeah. Like, that's how deep that shit goes, So that's why it's remorse, regret, again, tough words, but you get it. Like, you can't go that far into the depth of like, your personal life, even though it's business, without like having moments where did I fuck up? Am I doing the right thing? Is this the right thing? Yeah. Are we living the right thing right now? You know what I mean? Like, you don't know. But you just got to keep your head up and stay, positive, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, no one writes the playbook to how to be a successful entrepreneur, And by definition of an entrepreneur, you're starting a business or starting an idea of something that doesn't really exist before. So even the ways of when crisis does happen, the way you solve it is new.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like, well, usually this happens, but you're like, yeah, that's with everything else that has a business model set in place. This
Yeah.
is brand new. And you know, it felt right for you guys to go, hey, just to have like a token of like of showing of appreciation to show continued loyalty. Here's a piece of us too.
Shit.
Just kind of like how like in medieval times where like, you know, like my kids getting to marry yours, or in the mafia, it's like, well, now I own your restaurant as well. You know, it's just like you're just making up rules.
It really is like
to
that,
make
yeah.
sure everyone feels good about where they're going.
And because at the end of the day, like with all the stubbornness in the world, you're believing in something bigger than that thing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? No matter how much you're fucking that thing is worth to you, what you're actually trying to go for is 100 times bigger. And the only way to get there is to like make the right calls, have the right people. You know, now I don't look at it as like we gave away a part of ourselves. It's like, yo, you got to fucking build strategic partnerships.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you got to gang up. You know, you don't go and I see this in the movies. I'm not gangster enough to say it, but like you go into a prison, it's like you fucking find a clique. Otherwise, because if you stay by yourself, how are you going to like survive? Because the world is very, very dog eat dog world. And sometimes it's not even people being like, you know, having animosity with you. Sometimes the world is just tough.
Yeah.
You know?
What's crazy is the more I do business and like kind of like, I guess, rise in the levels, I start to meet different types of people that are also doing business at different levels. And in the beginning, I think it's more informal, right? It's like I have some business ideas I share with you and you tell me some of your trials and tribulations and we kind of learn from each other. And then as like the zeros grow on your like gross revenue, there's more formalized versions. There's like masterminds. There's like secret business groups. And then you start to understand that they all like want to be in this certain group. And you're like, oh, wait, that company is started by this celebrity, but it's actually, there's 10 other celebrities that also own this. They also cross promote. It's like this giant orchestrated thing. And you're just like, man, like that's the only way to, if you really want to get to that next level, it's how many people are in your phone contacts that can really help grow everyone. And that's just insane. That's
and
crazy.
then there's also the mo money, mo problems essence.
Yep.
I, again, humbly feel like I'm edging on to learning the depths
Mo money, mo
of
problems.
mo money,
That's
mo problems,
nice.
which is sick in one ways, but I mean, we do business with friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like we like holding on to statutes and making sure, especially because like when you're like, again, when you're CEOs, when you're running a company, you can't constantly give people context and communication. Everybody is like fully on board and understanding every decision that has to be made, especially
Yeah.
when the company needs to move quickly, involves a lot of other people. When you're answering to other partners and investors, it's like at the end of the day, few can run fast and move this thing well.
Yeah.
But that also means that there's just room for lack of communication, understanding, or people even like, you know,
Or not even getting the full context.
yeah, you know, and to see even for us, and I speak from you know, with more clarity on this, even for us, like people probably still to this day, like Kinjaz is like a dance team. And I get that. Like that's still most of like what people are receiving and what we project. But ultimately Kinjaz is also a business, right? So there's a whole business behind it. And what once was so clearly a dance crew is now so much more than a dance crew. I barely even fucking rehearse unless I have to, you know what I mean? Because there's so much shit already for work or for jobs or for social media or content creation versus just the crew stuff that we do, you know? So to have what was once a dance crew that everybody kind of, you know, in their own way had like equity in or like was very active and a part of and influential in, but now for us to be like running businesses that include like talk shows and noodles or this or that, you know what I mean? It's just such a different place.
Yeah.
So when success or when other things may come in, also finding the way to navigate and make sure that everybody is fairly, you know, a part of and stays and has the ability to be a part of, but like at a professionally fair way. Like,
yeah, I get you.
I'm be swimming in that for the next few years. And I know that that's a growing part of like what it is for my journey. You know, again, I'm thankful that I can even like begin to understand that space. But yeah, I gotta admit, there's some pressure that's going on. There's some other things that we got to start working through in order to make sure that we do stuff the right way, because we care about each other. You know what I'm saying? So even with business, you gotta work extra hard when you're with friends and family.
Absolutely, because it's you also have to keep in account the knowledge that everyone has in terms of business, right? Because it's like if everyone's doing different things, like you can't go into like the apparel factory and just be like, this is the way these things need to be done. And they're like, no, that's not it at all. This is the way it should be done. And now you're pissed because you don't understand what they're saying. And they're going, no, but trust me, this is the right way to do it. You know? So that's also really, really hard.
Micromanaging expectations and all that, and history. Yeah. And I mean,
we know.
Yeah, I know y'all know. I mean, I know, like, I've been fortunate enough to at least still be consistent even in your guys' relationship for a fucking decade now, pretty much. Tick Tick was 2011?
Oh, shit. Tick Tick.
That's 2011.
That was a tour that we did of Australia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we first met you.
Was it 2011?
I think that was 2011.
Damn, that's 10 years.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Tick Tick Tour 2. We was there with like Poriotics, JR Aquino, the Architects, with Puspos and them, and we had, who else was there? Chani.
Yeah.
Who else was I was there with Yo Mama crew.
Oh yeah, Lawrence, right?
Yeah, with Lawrence. Basically, for the JK Films representation was y'all two, Joe, and Casey, right?
Yeah.
Was there anybody else there?
No, we were the main four.
So that's literally, so you get it.
Yeah.
No, we get
That's
it.
the beginning of the journey. 10 years later, I'm still fortunate to be rolling with y'all, but people change, life situations change, you know what I mean? And again, same thing, bringing it back to it. When you go through a pandemic, so many individual situations change. So even just trying to like properly and respectfully work with and adapt to those things, like that in and of itself is a challenge,
Yeah.
Like back then when we used to, like years ago, when we used to call Kindra's rehearsal, it's easy. Nobody's married. Nobody's got children.
Yeah.
People are living in the city. You know what I mean? The hustle's still on.
Yeah, there's no hour that
they're
people have to
thinking
check
about
out.
dancing all the time. They don't have to, you know what I mean? Now it's like when we try to schedule one thing, we got to schedule early in advance. Like make sure your kid gets daycare. Make sure you guys are in town. Make sure you're not already on that convention. Make sure that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a whole different world now. But yeah, I don't know. Either way, it's where we're meant to be, and it's all a blessing for the ride.
With all the stuff that you've gone through, and all the skills that you've acquired, and even like the mental fortitude and like the tenacity, the will, the emotional stability to be able to handle big problems. With all of that, if like, let's say Kinja's ended, or like, let's say there's a genie that shows up and it was like, hey, you can be the same person you are and have the same exact skills, and I can put you back in 2011 or 2012 or whatever. Would you do the exact same route as Kinja's? Or would you go, here's what I think would have been a better route or better decision?
Does everyone's memory get wiped?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's huge.
everyone's memory.
Except mine.
Everyone's memory, including yours.
Wait, but he still has the life skills and everything?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Damn, let me get in on this
So
genie.
I don't have memory of what we did, but I just have the skills from
Actually, you're the only one with the memory.
Okay, I'm the only one with memory.
Yeah.
And not Mike's song?
No.
That's funny as well, because he's just my co-pilot. I have the memory of it. Okay, a long story short, no, I would not do everything the same way, for sure.
Would it still be Kinja's?
It would still be Kindra's.
And it would still be in dance? Or would you start
Dance would still be the vehicle.
I see.
Dance would for sure still be the vehicle.
Would you start the cultural movement sooner?
One, remember in 2010 when we started Kindra's, it was our side project Joke. So we were all individually doing doing our thing, traveling,
it
teaching
didn't
choreography.
look like that at all, man.
Well, we didn't start as a crew. Well, remember, even in 2011 when we met, you didn't see Kindra's, you saw Yo Mama. So it was all just side shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Kindra's didn't become a business until 2014, end of 2014
I
when
think
me and
you
Mike
guys
finally
just
sat down.
they had good creatives because they did Ambu Black Ops too, which
Yeah.
I thought was a real thing. Like they were just doing things that were branded very well. So I think any fuck around thing could have been like, oh, that's gonna take off into something.
Everything looked like it was gonna take off.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that. So I think for like
I
for
still
the,
like that
for
name
the
better.
sake
Ambu Black.
for the sake and the fun of this conversation, let me get to the nitty gritty. All right. Number one, for sure, the business mentality should have just started way faster. We were fucking up to the point where when we first started selling merchandise, okay, this is called Business 101, learning through life shit.
Don't do it.
When we were fucking selling merchandise, we did not charge tax for California sales in the beginning
Because you guys were trying to
because we didn't fucking know.
Oh no.
Shit.
You don't learn basic shit like this. You have to
True.
learn it through mistake. And we
True.
just made some random basic mistakes. So when we suddenly think that we're doing like, you know, maybe we did like, I don't know, maybe like 150,000 in sales that first year and X amount was California. But then suddenly we owed like 10,000 something in taxes that we just had no idea where it came from. You're just like, the fuck? Right? So that's one thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing.
Same thing with most of this has to do with business 101. It's always redoing shit, learning the wrong way. Our first year of getting hit with taxes, oh my God, I would have fucking fixed our payout situation so much smarter. Or even like in some of the other situations where right now, like the type of even work contracts that I would have had, the insurance waivers, the workers' comp statements, the W-9s we would have done like
shit.
sooner and just organized, like those ended up being the things
So
that
you
like
would still go in business.
I would just be better at it and not because when you make mistakes, you're backpedaling or you lose money or you lose time or I'm put into a situation where I can't be creative because I'm focusing on shit that we fucked up on. You know what I mean? I'll take those mistakes to heart all day, but still, like, if you're saying I had the skills to go back in time, I would avoid the mistakes.
You know how
what I mean?
Telling you guys on JK News, like the way my dad dates now, it's like the
Exactly,
first date questions are so straight up. Do you own a house? Are you in debt? Is your kid in college? Do you pay for that? Are you a felon? Like, it's very cold but logistical stuff. And then when I was talking to you guys about that on my drive back home, I kind of had like a slight epiphany. And when you're younger and more, just when you're younger, I guess, or more naive, I think your emotional drive is so strong that it kind of like, I don't even know what the right word is, but euphemizes like the logistical part of things, right?
Yeah. I know.
But then when you get older and you've gotten your ass handed to you 1 billion times, it's almost like, let me make sure my logistics are on point so that my emotional can come at the end and it will be untouched.
Let me give you an exact, you're absolutely right. I'll give you an exact example of how I would use that in the Kindra's history.
Yeah.
It would have been fucking ABDC, right? Instead of, or even NBC World of Dance. NBC World of Dance is actually better because I'm still proud of what we did on ABDC, but
Nice.
NBC World of Dance, right? Instead of thinking we need to like preserve the artistry and the culture and the integrity of who we are as people and make sure that we tell our story the right way and blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, this is not a fucking real competition. Just go out there and smash fools. Stop trying to just be like this is who Kinja's, this is who we are, this is where we come from, this is our Asian American experience. Like, this is the one time that we can get on a microphone in front of the world and share something true. Yes, but not totally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of like coming out with like that last routine that we did it to like work song or whatever. We always come out with these like really emotional things. I'll be like, you know what? Just fuck it, dude. Let's go hip hop. Not give a fuck, you know, and just like rip
crush
those
it.
assholes.
Yeah.
Just literally battle mentality only.
Should have just had John Hodges choreograph it so it's hard. Instead of that other soft stuff.
That's my fault. But you know what I'm saying? Like moments like that where you get caught up, you know, in that single moment.
Yeah.
And it is emotional.
Yeah.
But if you were in retrospect, obviously it's always easier in retrospect. But if you look back now, and that's the whole point of this conversation, being able to go back, it's like that logistical, like, what do I just need to do to get this done the right way? And then everything out there after that, that's the emotional stuff that we can enjoy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So easy would totally still do the same thing, but would just crush it way smarter and not fuck around with taxes the wrong way, guys. Like,
You're so funny. Dude, you're such a different person. Like, when we met, obviously we were all in the same boat. We were all younger. We didn't have families. Like, not that we were short-sighted by any means, but just our priorities were different. Like, yes, we knew we want families. Yes, we know we wanted to settle down, whatever. But like when you're in the thick of it, right? And you're building this dream or this idea or whatever this universe is that you want to live in, you're just like this creative free spirit, like, let me just try this and doing whatever, right? And that's how you were. But now you're just so like, you're like just this businessman, dude.
No, he's giving me the genie though. That's not fair though.
No, just in general.
Yeah, well,
I also think you have to.
That's
right?
dope.
'Cause when
It's
you're-
an evolutionary thing.
Everyone's driven by this emotion, by this passion that is bound by no rules. It's just your ideal, right?
Yeah.
But then when you're given tools, there's very specific tools, right?
Yeah.
Some pound, some rotate, some, are double-sided tape. And now it's like, oh, wait, my dream wasn't bound by these 3 types
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah.
So now like when you're like, well, then if I have to rebuild a dream, let me see what tools I have first. Do I have a glue gun or what? Okay, then now I know, what to build off of.
Yeah.
So I definitely
And I'm
feel
saying that in a
and
good
a man's
way.
only as loyal as his options in one sense, where it's like, even today, like I'm like, I could easily sit here right now. Yeah, business this. Of course I would do it like that. But the experiential life liver in us all is still like, if somebody came with a dance job, right? And they're like, here's this job and the rate sucks, the deal sucks, the memo sucks, how much I have to work is like intense. But then they're like, oh, but you get to go to this country. And I'm like, fuck, but I've never been in that country.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still like that. And that's what the last 10 years was for us. Like, I've been to I think I've been to like 35 countries now. You know what I mean? And that was one of the sickest life experiences I'll always be able to have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I will never regret that. Even though I pushed off certain things, I know we always have these conversations where it's like, maybe it wasn't the right business move at the time. Maybe I should have kept a certain hustle, but it's like getting the worldly perspective and just being like, I have seen some shit also gives you a different like, whatever. And I know time and time again, I'm still going to do that. Like, even if this makes hella sense, like, dude, don't go because like you can keep better business flow or whatever. If a fucking opportunity knocks on the door that derails everything, but it's like, this is a crazy opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I got to walk through the door.
You have to.
So like,
that's also what I think life is, or else we'll all be robots.
Which is why in the scenario, because we keep our memories, I can make those calls.
Yeah.
But if I didn't keep my memories and I only got the experience, I still might make the same. Or maybe that's why.
tight.
Maybe that's why I'm leaning towards things like taxes, because I'm like, I
don't
would
wanna
change
do
that. No emotions.
Yeah, because that's like one thing that's black and white.
Yeah.
I fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like I would not go to this trip or make this decision because like that gave me my life experience or memory. You know what I mean?
I remember when we first got hit with taxes, and it's like, like people like Gary Vee and like all the business self-entrepreneur, like that type of world has been around for a long time. And it's always pitched, go work for yourself. Why would you spend 40 hours dedicated to someone else? Is that person dedicated? Like, you hear all those memes all the time, right? And it's like, cool, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. I'm gonna build this empire or whatever. And then once you get hit with taxes, you're like, this is why you want to work a 9 to 5. They take it out for you. You're chill. You don't have to worry about it. And it never comes at you at a good time. Like with your 100 grand merch, it probably came at you. Here's a $15,000 bill. You have to pay this tax, but also the next shipment that's coming in, that's going to pay for next month's rent. It's also $15,000, and you also have to pay for that. What are you going to do? It's literally, and then you're like, oh my God. And then you're like, hey, Nina, that one trip that we're going to do? I think we might have to wait till like April.
So you're talking about me and Nina's wedding.
Oh, I don't even know. I mean, but it's like that, right? When it's like, when you're a business owner, if you're doing it at least decent, you have a couple of funds that you can tap into, or cushions, but there's a lot of self-sacrifice.
Dude, that's exactly what I'm saying. Me and Nina's wedding, because like, and thank you for the congrats. We got fucking engaged this year.
Yeah.
This year.
February.
By the way, at the week that we closed the complex, and that was the only thing that kept us all going, by the way. Like, everybody was fucking heartbroken and the energy was super weird. And the second I was like, guys, I think I'm going to use this last performance to propose. Suddenly everybody has something to do. They're like, okay, we got to clean this up. We got to do this, make sure moving's the next day, but make sure we finish. You know what I mean? Like the energy was cool. But after that, it's been a constant barrage of when are you guys getting married? When are you guys getting married? When are you guys getting married? And we even
I
went.
didn't dance for nothing.
Trust me, don't even let that get to you, because once you get married, then the next question, you know what that is?
Yeah, kids, absolutely,
Yeah.
of course.
Questions don't stop. And
Yeah.
after you have a
But
kid,
those
there's
are
another question.
exciting. Those
Yes.
are things that I want. So it's like cool, but it's to your point in terms, especially like that self-sacrifice and like as a business owner too.
Yeah.
Right. It's like we went fucking wedding. We're not wedding shopping, but like, you know, she's like, look, the dresses. Like we went to like different venues, like venue shopping kind of.
Yeah,
We went to
yeah.
like Maui. We checked out some venues.
Wow.
The whole process.
Right. The whole thing.
Please make it in Maui. Please invite
Please.
me.
I
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah.
too. I want to too, but
We're assuming we're invited, by the
Yeah.
way.
the Maui one might be a family one because of money. Because you know, like literally, like, this
be there.
is
Yeah,
where
we're there.
We're going to pay our taxes.
I'll tell
early
you the
this year.
dates. I'll tell you the dates. But the point is, like, even after all of that, the only decision we ended up making was just hold off.
It's a
So
smart
we're not even
decision.
going to have
It
a
is
wedding
smart.
next year. We're looking at 2023. And the irony is that like now that like, you know, COVID's like chilling out and people are having weddings again, I'm going to all my homies' weddings and like, you know, it's dope because like everybody in their, I don't want to say it's like a diss, but like people that maybe don't have as entrepreneurial lives, right? It's like easier to like have a flow or like the 9 to 5 or whatever.
Yeah,
It
or
is
they have more
easier.
predictable schedules.
Yeah.
And that's the attraction from it. Like after having become an entrepreneur, like me and her, like, because we're a family now, I have all kinds of plan B, C, D, E, F, G, like plans.
Yeah.
In case shit happens or whatever. And probably like after plan B, like C through E, they're all 9 to 5 jobs. Just so I can have some stability and be able to have the mental bandwidth, you know?
9 to 5 concept jobs.
Yeah.
Not like you're going to be an employee to somebody.
Yeah. No, not employee.
That's what he means.
shit.
Yeah.
Like
he
I was
would
like,
do
maybe
that.
I'll be like a forest ranger.
Oh, yeah.
You know, something
I
that's
can
pretty cool. I
understand.
clock in, I clock out. I'm in
understand that.
nature. I
Yeah,
do what I
yeah,
like.
yeah.
I have benefits. I have
Yeah.
a
I know,
retirement.
that sounds kind of good. Yeah.
No, I understand. My dad wanted to be a mailman for a long time after he like retired, but
Yeah.
But even to that point though, it's like it's not even just like I don't have money to get married. Like if I wanted to really throw a wedding,
Yeah.
one, I'm just like it's not financially sensible compared to like how much it costs relative to like how much I actually have. And then two, I'm either over leveraged or I'm like all my money's in investments. I could pull money out of an investment, whether it be like, you know, a real estate and trust investment trust here, whether it be, you know, my retirement fund here, whether it be crypto here, whether it be private equity investment here. So I'm like lucky to have different opportunities to be invested in. But then it's like, I'm like, imagine with crypto, it's like I could pull out that money, but I'm locked in a really good position. So
Yeah.
it's like, what is the actual life play? Because
And
society is saying,
it's not right for the plucking.
right? Society's telling you like there's a time frame you should do stuff even after you're engaged, or you're supposed to spend this much on
Brother,
a ring,
fuck that shit.
or the type of wedding you're supposed to. I know you guys
No.
are the most
We don't
gangster
give
out of
a
it. So to
fuck.
sit here and talk to you guys about how you fucking just did your thing, that's
Get a tattoo on.
I'm fucking 38 and
fucking
just
mom.
kind of
When she came back home with that, I was like, can you believe you're a fucking mom, dude?
that's
like I'm
fucking
starting
sick as
BJJ
fuck.
like at 38 years old. Like most people my age are going like, oh, I can't do this thing. Like my bones hurt. And I'm like, yo, I'm trying to wreck people. I'm trying to fucking knock people out.
Yeah, so just like all of that, which is constantly around, right? So you can't ignore it, you know. I don't want to call it societal pressure. It's society, right? Like
Yeah.
everyone's doing that, but to like,
But it's if you see yourself in that societal space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I hear it all the time, right? Like when you're having second kid or just the age thing or because I'm a woman or whatever. But I don't see myself in their space.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? So like that's why I don't feel these pressures of like I should be doing this or that, because I'm like, well, who's the person telling me that? Are they my kind of people? Because if they're not, then
Because your question to them, it's like, when are you going to get your next tattoo? You're 37. You should have at least 3.
yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? Like if it's not the caliber of people that I admire or am inspired by.
Or in
get
the
it.
life lane that you want to go.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
then for me, it's like, oh shit, that's just not my path.
Which is exactly why I brought you guys on my show today, and that's why I'm so close. I get close to people
I
like
hate
you.
dude.
Because even though the rest of society is that, it's like I gotta hang out with Bart and Gio because they're fucking weird. They're
We
just
are,
Yeah.
fucking
honestly.
We're
fuck
not
the
on the
normal
same-
stuff. But like that is what you need to do, right? Like everybody, what is it?
Absolutely.
People always say like you're
7
honestly
people or some
exactly
shit.
you're a reflection of your closest 7 people or whatever.
Yeah.
So you got to be fucking conscious of who you keep in your circle because they
Absolutely.
rub off on you.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why
Yeah.
I've literally like had to like I'm pretty not confrontational, but like I'm pretty front facing or forward about asking questions sometimes. Like how did I become the host of JK News?
That's amazing.
It was
I love this story.
mid-lunch. Me and Joe were talking about who would be good candidates to be the next host, and then we're just like bouncing ideas back and forth
out loud. And he was hearing this whole
out loud.
conversation.
JK's like a family, right? So we're always talking out loud all the time.
There was more dramatic than that.
It was a little more, and then like
I see.
It was more like Steve was getting a lot of pressure because she stepped in and he had to like fill a hole,
and
right?
he's already been hosting, but then now if he's hosting like 3 days straight, we're literally taking his strength away from him.
And it's not his full-time thing either.
Yeah. And so Anthony was just like, hey, I don't want to be too forward or anything, but this is what I'm hearing. I'd be down to host. And I thought that was fucking dope.
Yeah.
And like in my mind, just to add fun context,
me and Joe just like, done. And then we're like, okay, because me and Joe hate talks like this. So we're like, done. Let's go for a walk.
Yeah, it's so fast, which I was like, oh shit. But like from where I'm coming from too, like I'm like finally after like years of coming, I was at JK News in the beginning as a guest, you know what I mean? Like really once it started, I was like, oh, you guys doing a new show too.
You were getting roasted. I don't know if that's changed.
I get roasted way more now.
I think it's even more. I think once you become inside, it's fucking
I am
worse.
for sure #1 roasted guy right now. Like there's a season of it. I feel the flow and it hurts so bad. But I get it because like maybe it's because like I'm very fortunate. There's really cool things happening. But because there's cool things happening, your close friends have to dick on you.
Stay positive, bro. That's probably why they're making fun of you.
Yeah. If anything, if shit starts really getting worse for me, I think they'll stop. But anyways,
sure.
So like I'm also in a position where I'm like, I'm usually when I wanted to come back on JK News, I would always have to hit up like Bart or whoever, you know, was hosting and be like, hey, I'm in town for a couple weeks. Cause that was the thing. It's just, I never fucking knew my schedule. I was literally gone over 50% of the year traveling, teaching, performing, choreographing, whatever the fuck. So it was inconsistent, even for Nina. So when I come home, I'm like, hey, I got a couple weeks. Can I be on JK News? And that was me always trying to know that this, that was a space, whether it be the group of people, the type of thing that I was doing, that was like something I wanted to stay a part of, like what I do. Otherwise, that's awesome. I would, because even when it comes to just dancing, if I just create dance content, most of the stuff I actually gravitate towards in music and dance is actually a lot more like deep, ethereal, emotional type shit. You know what I'm saying? And if people only got that from me, they probably not know anything about me. I'm fucking ridiculous. You know, you guys get me. I'm like a goon, you know?
Big one.
Thank you. Thank you. But the point is, like, having stuff like JK, I was like, dude, this is almost healthy for me, right? And then so finally, again, with the pandemic, here's silver lining. I was forced to stay home. So finally getting a chance to be like, oh, like I want to do more JK. And then, you know, one thing led to another and it's like the right time. And then, and it was like, come on and be a regular. And I was like, oh shit, I'm a regular. And I was like, hey, I really like this. I'm pretty good at it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And also, again, like I had mentioned earlier, all the dance work was cut out from under me too. You know, like, I had to, if I wanted, I cut my own salary. Like, you know, I had to change everything.
You have to do whatever.
So I even was like, oh shit. Like I even had to look at JK a little bit like a job for real.
Yeah.
So then having to rework the wires in my mind, I was like, okay, even if I look at this for real, even like as a job, then I need to like do a great job. I don't get to, in a sense, I can't be a guest to this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even to be promoted, if you will, to like a regular, I gotta treat this like with my, like the respect I would treat it if it was my own shit.
I do feel it though. When you show up, I feel like a sense of pride in your work and a professionalism that you like to carry. Even though we fuck around and we go crazy, I do feel like between the minutes that were like action and cut, you do really try to bring it, and you never ever go on like the passive end or just let the subconscious go. You know, I do feel it. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for giving me a spot there, you know, because again, that's like, I find so much joy in it. So I have to treat it with respect. But even, you know, to where we even got there, like just to try and be forward, knowing that those are good things I need in my life and being willing, you don't need to look at somebody and put yourself in that vulnerable, because at the end of the day, you could say no.
Yeah.
And I could just right there, just that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's asking to even be a guest, be like, hey, I'm available. It's like, oh, I ain't got space for you. That can happen at any time.
Yeah.
Or as forward as like, hey, like I'm down to be a host, like have a role in this thing.
I like that you did that.
That's why you'll never fail, dude.
You just
Whatever
you gotta
do.
go for it.
Yeah,
you know?
you're never gonna fail, man.
And you gotta, really just be real with yourself and identify people that bring you up, because people you kick it with on the daily aren't always going to exactly be the same people that challenge you and make you a better version of yourself.
Yeah.
That's totally different.
That force you to grow.
Yeah, there's a hangout version that doesn't have to be progress always. You don't always have to win life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you have to know that winning life is a thing and you have to progress. And the only people, if I'm the most noob in my closest 7, that's a great place to be. That means I have the most to learn and everybody's helping me out. And the irony is that I think maybe this is truly the life journey too. The irony is, like I said, when we were at that spot, when we were having that meeting with Nike at the grand opening of the complex and all that stuff, I felt like I was the top guy for everybody.
Sick.
In my circle, which is, I felt really proud of it.
Yeah.
Right. I'm the guy who's teaching people, who's leading people, who's pulling people farther than their own ambitions.
Senior patrol leader.
Exactly. Senior patrol leader. And the funny thing is, in life right now, even though of course I still have to hold that position, the funny thing is I actually feel like a fucking noob right now. I've never been so handed just on my ass all the time, just getting rocked by the intensity of where life's next step is.
Sick.
It can be in business, it can be in marriage and having children, it could be in looking at real estate and seeing it different. I'm not coming into you guys' house and being impressed it's so big. I know a lot of your personal stories and how it got here. And I look at the lineage. I look at your Glendora house. I look at the first house that me and Lawrence were gay as fucking with you guys and stuff, or wherever that was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I see that. And that's what I'm impressed with when I see this house.
Thank you.
You feel me?
This motherfucker again, dude.
That's why I brought you guys onto my show, guys. Get
This is
close.
why. Okay, so we've been talking for a really long time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
I feel good.
No, we can keep going, and I love where it's going, but we just have to close it out. So we've been talking for a really long time, and I absolutely dude. The last time we hung out in the JK office. No noise, no music, no nothing, and we were just fucking having the best time ever.
Yeah,
and
finally drank with Bart a little bit. Yes.
it was dope. You're just dope company. You're a dope spirit. We fucking love you. We're so fucking proud of you. Yes, you feel like you're being knocked on your ass right now, but I'm so excited for you. I know the type of person that you are, and I know that whatever it is that you're gonna do, you're gonna fucking smash it, and it's gonna be so sick. So I cannot wait to see where all of this shit leads, because it's yes, you're on your ass, but that just means you're just gonna grow and learn. And bro, I'm excited.
I admire and I look up to you so much.
Yes.
That on one of our JK walks, and I know our life paths are a little bit different right now. You're in LA, I'm in Vegas. You're still super in the whole building your cultural empire thing, and so are we. So we don't. Our bandwidths are completely full. But when you said that we have to do something together one day, and I said, yes, done. I know it's going to happen. I don't know when, but I love you like a brother, and I know it's going to happen.
He means it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, dude, that means a lot, dude. I love you guys both like family. I'm very thankful for y'all. And we are doing it. You guys are here on my podcast that I just started.
Fuck.
So make sure you follow my new podcast, Get Close. I'm your guest host. I'm probably going to take a big break after this because this is such a great one. I'll leave it in these 2 hands.
You're so funny.
Thanks
But
for
thank you
closing
for
it out.
being on here. Thank you for loving us. Because if you didn't, you're a busy ass person. You wouldn't. We know that you just don't do shit for the sake of doing shit. So thank you. And we love you.
Love y'all.
Okay. Bye.